She defines Hollywood glamour and sophistication, both of which she used down on the farm in the popular TV series, now a cult hit, Green Acres. Actress, businesswoman, one of the illustrious Gabors, Ava Gabor is our guest tonight. And then later on, a man who wrote the runaway bestsellers, Three Blind Mice, How the Networks Lost Their Way, and Greed and Glory on Wall Street. New York is known for its quality writers. She defines Hollywood glamour and sophistication, both of which she used down on the farm in the popular TV series, now a cult hit, Green Acres. Actress, businesswoman, one of the illustrious Gabors. Ava Gabor is our guest tonight. And then later on, he wrote the runaway bestsellers, Three Blind Mice, How the Networks Lost Their Way, and Greed and Glory on Wall Street. New York is known for its quality writers, and this media columnist for The New Yorker is one of this city's best. Ken Oletta is here, coming straight up on Straightforward. She played Broadway, appeared in the film classic Gigi, and of course starred with Eddie Albert and Arnold the Pig on Green Acres. Performer, businesswoman, glamorous citizen of Hollywood, Ava Gabor. Ava, you look wonderful.
Thank you, Roger.
I noticed that you do know about lighting.
Oh, yes, I do.
We started the show a little late tonight because Ava not only had herself lit properly, but apparently had me lit properly.
But you look absolutely beautiful.
I hope it translates into something, and if there's a large crowd of women downstairs after the show, I will thank you.
I'm going to fight them off. I will not give you away. But it is very important for a woman to be. You can do the best. If you're not lit properly, boy, you're in trouble. And I don't take it to bed, as you said before the show.
You look great. You look absolutely great.
Thank you. I feel very well. I'm a very happy woman today.
How come you're so healthy? Do you work out?
I do. I work out 3 times a week, and I swim, and I play tennis. But actually, I think everything comes mentally. You know, I finally, after all these years, found myself, which is an...
Were you lost? I mean, were you looking
all my life? No,
really?
It's serious. All my life I was groping, looking for...
Did you not know who you were? I mean, really?
Well, no, really, I didn't. Not only that, I was looking for somebody to make me happy, which doesn't work like that. You got to be happy inside, and then you have a lot to offer, and then you don't look. And then they come from all directions. Then
they come after you because you're happy. They want to know what you have that they don't have.
Exactly. It's a very interesting, very painful kind of a thing to arrive to. I'm in psychiatry and many sufferings, which we all go through.
How many years of psychiatry?
Oh, off and on, like about 10. Mm-hmm. And you finally, it is such a, you know, I always talk about it because I see now so many of my friends, especially in Hollywood, who are running and who are afraid to be at home alone. If I don't have 2 or 3 evenings at least, staying at home, listening to music, reading, I love to read, I read everything, I'm lost.
Do you like being alone now, or do you like having a guy hang around, or do you like to hang out with the girls?
That is a very, very intelligent, good question. I like a man around if he has something to offer. If I can talk to him about world affairs, about business, not just chit-chat. To go to dinner and date, I wouldn't waste my time at all. I have wonderful friends. They are extremely important. Mm-hmm. And I do work a lot, you know. I just started last year, actually, home shopping. Mm-hmm. I have the world's largest wig company called Eva Gabor International.
Wigs.
Wigs, which I...
Do you have men's wigs? People have tried to say, should I wear one? I like sort of, I don't need one, do I?
You certainly don't. You are brilliant. You
Actually,
are good
this is a wig.
This is not a wig. You're talking to one who knows it.
Oh, you can tell it's really...
I got to tell you that 25 years ago, which is very difficult to admit, as I'm only 38.
Yes, I can tell.
But I was doing a play on Broadway.
Twice.
Wait a minute, I can't so good. Anyway, I was doing a play on Broadway, a costume play, and Cecil Beaton, you know, the great designer.
I thought you were talking about your chest size when you said I'm 38. I said,
that's about right.
2.
I got to say. Anyway, forget it.
I was surprised you would introduce that in the middle of the interview, but I thought,
if it's me, anything can happen, Roger.
Listen, that's right. If she wants to say it, it's okay with
Let
me.
her say it.
That's right. Okay.
But I was doing this play on Broadway, a costume play, and this wig I was wearing, I had to faint towards the audience, and I said, great, they turned the air conditioning up. So I was so hot. What happened, that stupid wig fell off, and my leading man had to reach down and plunk it back on my head.
Oh, God.
So when
That's embarrassing.
Oh, it was awful. But when this very proper gentleman came to me from Kansas City, would I like to be in the wig business? I said, if it weighs an ounce and a half. And I don't know how I made an ounce and a half, but today they do.
Really?
And it is a wonder.
Because they used to be very heavy.
Oh, they used to be ghastly, but now you can't tell. You can go to bed with them. If the fellow is too vehement, it'll fall off. But if you leave being left alone...
But if you make love gently...
I mean, if you leave the head alone, you're in great shape.
Well, I'm not going to touch that.
No, not with a 10-foot pole.
No, I'm not going to touch that. Oh, there was a large controversy backstage as to whether I should wear this tie.
I like the tie.
And whether it would make me look too strange wearing a little flowered tie, because I'm such a big guy. You think it's all
No,
right?
I think it's okay, and I
do
like
too.
ties.
I sort of like it
and
too.
I like the new wide look on people.
Yeah, I do too.
Hey, I'm so happy today for our pilot. Aren't we living in the most glorious country?
What happened today?
Well, you know that we found our pilot.
Oh, we found our pilot over there in Bosnia.
Good morning, darling.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I didn't hear what you said. When you say pilot, I think it's about a TV series.
You don't give me
so
much.
I wasn't sure. I had forgotten that we found our pilot. Yeah.
You don't give me much
No,
credit
I give you a lot. No, I give you a lot of
brain.
credit. I was just in the TV mode. That's all.
Yeah, I know. Well, I never stay in one mode.
Yes.
You know what my next mode is? I love to come back to Broadway. My Lord, every time I come to New York, I run to the theater. And when I feel when the curtain opens and this air, this magic air comes up,
great, isn't it?
I go mad.
I know.
I said, I should be up there. Somebody else should be sitting here.
Would you do Broadway again?
Would I ever? All I need is somebody to ask
Really?
me. Oh, yes.
When you did, what did you do? When did you do Broadway?
Well, it was about, I think, 4 years ago. So I did with Eddie Albert, You Can't Take It With You.
Oh, that's right, okay.
And strangely enough, I was in the theater where I made my debut as an ingenue for Roger and Hammerstein. And I used to be so petrified. I don't know how I lived it through. But it made me a star overnight. It was unbelievable.
Can I ask you an honest question? I mean, you've been around a long time. Why did you never lose the accent?
I tried. Zsa and I both...
I mean, I have this vision of you, like on Saturdays, speaking very much like me.
I wish.
No.
I do. I studied at Columbia University because I wanted to do Shakespeare.
Right.
And they came to me from the city center to play the Good Fairy. And you see, you laugh already. In Midsummer Night's Dream. And I said, hey, Gabor, in Shakespeare, they said, become and you read. And I was supposed to say, woo me, and I said, bow me, and it fell on the floor.
So you gave up Shakespearean career?
I did, and I tried desperately, believe me.
I don't mean to be critical of the...
But be my
it's
guest.
a charming... No, it's a charming
I hate
accent.
an accent.
No, I just always thought, you know...
No, I hate an accent.
Really?
But Hungarians somehow have a terrible time losing an accent, and I'm more American than anybody. I am the only one in Beverly Hills who has a big American flag flying in front of my house.
Are you conservative?
I am very conservative.
Are you?
Very, very.
A lot of people who came to this country from other countries are more patriotic in a sense, in the traditional sense of patriotism, or conservative than people who grew up here. Why is that?
Because we know the difference. I mean, in Hungary, if we would have a pilot somewhere lost, they would say it's too bad. But in America,
everybody's rooting for the...
Every American belongs. I went downtown with my assistant, who's been with me 20 years, and she's from British Honduras, and finally she became an American citizen. And then I'm sitting happily and so proud of her, and the judge recognizes me, and he comes over. I said, no, I'm an American. I became one after the first 5 years. And I got home and they called me from the news. I was on the news. I said, please don't say that I'm just an American now.
Oh, my. Well, let me back up a second. Is this a touchy subject, Merv Griffin? Can I ask about that?
Oh, be my guest.
He was here last week. He was my guest, so I just wondered, what's the story there?
He's a wonderful, wonderful man. I will always love him. We are the greatest friends. And, you know,
you just don't hang around much together anymore.
Not lately, but we probably will again. We hung around together for 12 years.
Yeah, 12 years.
I must tell you, I had the best time
yes?
with him. He has a sense of humor like nobody in the world.
He is a funny guy.
Oh, you must have loved him.
Yeah, we had a good time. But I'd worked with him a number of years ago because I was producing the Mike Douglas show back in the years when the Merv Griffin show was on up at the Little Theater here. So
and wasn't it in Philadelphia?
Yeah, it was
because
in Philadelphia,
I was there.
Yes, I know that. Yeah, I know that. You wouldn't remember me then, but it's because I actually had hair in those days. Anyway, would you get married again?
That's a very difficult thing. It got to be somebody with Merv's sense of humor, who's got to...
Merv's money, too, wouldn't hurt. I mean, the guy's rich.
Darling, I'm okay.
You got plenty, huh?
I mean, I
Would
don't...
you marry me? I mean, I don't.
Darling,
I'm not
be careful.
that okay.
I might say yes, and then you're stuck. You'll never make your show. You won't
Well, when
be
you
able
say,
to
I've never
work
had a woman
every
say,
day.
I'm fine, I don't need any money. I've never had a woman say that before. So
Well, darling, I worked, as you say, for a long time, and I am very careful. I don't buy thousands and $1,000 of dresses. I've always supported myself.
What do you invest in?
Well, I finally learned what the stock market is all about, like nobody knows
Fear
what
and
it is
greed
all
is
about.
what-
Yeah, exactly. But I have in securities, you know, in bonds, very carefully, that I am okay.
What rate of return do you demand on your money?
I don't demand. I'm very lucky if today I get 5 to 6%, and
Really?
I'm doing great. With now the interest rate going down, I read the Wall Street Journal every day. And when I got my last divorce, I was one of the stupidest women in the world.
You didn't get any money out of it?
No, it cost me. It always did cost me.
Really?
Well, that's okay,
Wait,
darling.
they're cueing me to a commercial here.
How can
Ava
you?
Gabor.
I'm not through yet.
Well, you keep talking. We'll take a little break, and we'll just come back in the middle of it. All right, Ava Gabor. We'll be right back after these. What do you think of when you see that clip?
Oh, it was the happiest 6 years of my life. Eddie, of course, is a prince of a man.
He is a very nice. I worked with him once, and he's a wonderful man.
Oh, I just talked to him before I left 2 days ago.
Good health? Is he in good health?
He's fine. Yeah. He's wonderful. Growing his vegetables. We're eating everything from the garden.
Really?
Green Acres went home with Eddie.
Really?
But it was a joy. We never had a pink page for the audience, you know, pink pages when
Rewrites.
they rewrite. Mm-hmm. And we had the biggest love affair of that whole set. Everybody wanted to work with us. We had 15 crew, and I knew if somebody wasn't happy, I am so sensitive to people, and I said, what's wrong? They were fabulous. And when we towards the third, fourth year, the big guys used to come to me because we worked. I got up at 4:30 every day and worked late. They said, Ava, collapse a little because I'm very tired. So I collapsed for a week, and so they had a wonderful week off.
You know, you said something that I think people don't realize, but I see it in your eyes sitting here this close. You are a very sensitive person. People think, and you get up at 4:30 and you do your job and you work hard. They see you this glamorous person and they think, you know, she's about, you know, baubles and bangles and Hollywood.
May I tell you how that came about?
Yeah.
Very early in my life. When I first came to America, a gentleman said to me, hello, how are you? And he had beautiful blue eyes. And I proceeded to tell him I have a headache and I really don't. And I looked at the eyes and they were absolutely glassy. And he said, how very nice. And I learned then that when I have problems and when I'm lonely and when I'm suffering, I don't go anywhere. When you see me, I'm always up, and if they ask me, how are you, I say I've never been better, because just about 2 or 3 real friends, you tell how you really feel.
That's right.
Because we all have a cross to carry. Why should you bother anybody with yours?
Yeah.
And I'm also very religious, and the church helps me a lot, and I'm fine. I don't believe in complaints. I can't stand complainer. It's a bore.
Do you think, having come to this country and become an American, that Americans complain a lot?
Oh, yes, I do, and they don't know how well off they are. I used to say, because you saw Hungary was under the communists and the Nazis, early on I used to say, if you're unhappy in this country, why don't you just try it over there, see how it feels? And today, and I sincerely believe that, if you work hard enough, and if you have blinders on, and you have a goal, you can make it. You only don't make it when you give up and you say, well, America will take care of me. That's wrong. That's why you have so many people sleeping on the street, and I'm very involved with this. I work for the mission in Hollywood, and I'm very concerned about it. And with the new things about the Social Security and about cutting down everything, you can't always be a star. But you can work, you can check out in a market. There is always work to do. If you try to find somebody to work for you, you know how very difficult that is.
That's true.
And I have a little girl who worked with me, as I told you. She came as a house to work in the house 20 years ago. Today she's my assistant, and I cannot live without her. She makes very, very good money, but she works and she knows. And me, I came to this country with $300. That's all, that I came from a household where I had everything. And it was very tough, and I lived in a little room, but I worked. Boy, I got a contract at Paramount. I was there every blessed day from 8 o'clock in the morning. I used to sit on the set. I went to, there were times I didn't have enough money to eat. And I went to a movie, and I stayed there till they closed to learn, because I had a British accent. I had a British governess, and nobody knew what the heck I was talking about. So when they made my test, they made it silent because they didn't know what I was saying. And I learned the proper American English. And when I was thrown out from one studio, I went back to another one. And I was thrown out from almost every studio. And I went back as a star to Paramount and to 20th and to MGM.
Being beautiful, does it cause men to come on to you? How do you handle a guy when he's trying to...
Do you know when I was at Paramount as a kid and I went to school there, nobody ever made a pass at me. Only one man in my whole career made a pass at me, and not so long ago I can say it. It was David Selznick. He saw me on Broadway and he said, I want you to come out and do a test. So I flew out, and I went right from the plane to the studio, and he was behind the desk, and I was walking in, and he made a run at me with his pants open. I ran around all the way. I ran out. I went back to the aeroplane, and I said, what the heck is wrong with this guy?
Maybe he just forgot to zip up after that.
It could have been. It could have been, but I wasn't going to take a chance.
You didn't want to take a chance.
I didn't. I never said his name. I hope I won't get into trouble with Jennifer.
Well,
but it slipped out.
Yeah,
it did slip out.
Well, now, but I mean, like when you go to a party or something, don't guys come over and say, hi, what are you doing later? Or
well, if I like them.
If you like them, it's all right, right?
It's perfectly all right. I mean, people don't make, you know who you make a pass at? For the girls with a very short skirt, who lean forwards and all that jazz.
Was that what you do?
Well, you
not
saw,
me. I
not
mean,
you're not a girl, thank God.
Yeah, today
it's very open, and it's very wrong, because the courting period is gone, and that I will not give it up. I have to be courted. I am. We
have to take a break here in 30 seconds. What do you look at first in a man? One answer.
His mind. I can talk to him.
Really?
Only.
Oh, all right. Stick around. We'll have a little more mind games here with Ava Gabor right after these messages.
Thank you, monsieur.
Dreadful man.
You seem to have lessons with him often enough.
Oh, he's an excellent teacher. I made amazing progress, but he's so conceited, so superior in an inferior way. I can't stand him. Shall we go?
What? You hadn't seen that in years?
I haven't seen this. It was a wonderful experience. We were shooting in Paris.
Yeah.
And that alone, and then they started then this curling iron, and the French people didn't like us too much, but they don't like Americans anyway, and they were burning me right and left. And Cecil Beaton made those costumes, and my waist was 18, and he made it 16. And I said,
how do you breathe? No wonder your pitch was up high.
I said to Cecil, I said, look, darling, I can't breathe, and I'm having hot flashes. And he said, that photographs very well.
You're kidding.
They corset, but I have a good waist even today.
Yes, so let me see your waist.
Well,
look at that. Look at that. Whoop. Hey, I got a shot there you wish you'd had.
It's the waist stayed good.
Yeah, you're great, yeah.
Yeah, I never gain. I'm a size 6, and if I can't afford to gain, all my wardrobe would go out.
What's the worst food habit you have? What do you really like, a hamburger or a chocolate sundae? Or
Hungarian sausages, which is deadly.
Really?
Deadly.
Yeah, there's a lot of fat in it.
Or paprika chicken, which is worse, as I'm allergic to milk. But I do cheat, and I eat almost everything. You know, I don't diet.
Really?
I don't believe in dieting. I believe in working out. Once I was with Murph up in Carmel, and he was dieting like mad. I said, I'm doing it with you. And then I disappeared, and out of the frigidaire, I took some bread, whatever I found. I was stuffing myself in it. And he came outside and caught me. I cannot diet. I'm a very weak character.
Yeah.
But
let me go back to your wig company for a second. You told me how many wigs you sold in a
On a home shopping, 7,000 in 1 hour.
7,001, and they sell for what, $69?
$69.50 or $68.50.
How many women wear wigs? How many do we not know are wearing wigs that are wearing wigs?
Oh, lots, and I mean lots of Dolly Parton, Carol Channing, lots of my friends and lots of stars wear because it saves time in makeup and hair. And when you travel, it's a blessing. I wore once a wig in London, and this woman said to me in the ladies' room, "Your hair is so beautiful," being a businesswoman. I said, "It's my wig," which she promptly took off. I almost killed her.
So you have to keep the hair very short?
No, you don't.
No?
No, you just put it on like a hat. You put a couple of pins in it, and away you go, and you put your own hair in the front and in the back. You never know. You never know. It's a wonder, but you know, you guys.
It would be a shock, though, if you were making love to a woman and her.
No, because
you'd feel like your head fell off. I mean,
no, not really, because you still have hair. Because we sent.
Yeah, but you'll have. I mean, you
no,
think,
it's not that.
You might think
it's not that dramatical.
No?
Believe me,
Okay.
because it's happened to me.
Really?
It's not. You're getting things out of me.
Well,
I never said on the air.
So your wig fell off making love. Tell me about that.
I will not tell you anymore.
I want to hear about that. I
out.
heard a rumor that you swim in the nude. Is that
I
true?
do, but I have a big hat and gloves because
You wear a hat and gloves and
big
nothing
hat,
else?
because nothing else, because the water covers you till here, and your face is very important if you make a living with it. And I'm allergic to the sun. I get skin cancer, so I swim like that. And once I got caught, and I was shriveling away, and this guy called down from the pool and said, "Hi, Eva." I said, "Not Eva, Jaja." I got out.
So you told him it was Jaja.
Yeah, I did, but I was going to promenade around in the nude and be caught.
I must admit that's something I've never gone swimming in just a hat and gloves.
Well, you have something to look forward to.
I do have something. If I come to your house, we'll have to try that.
Yes, I love to have you visit
yes,
me.
That,
I cannot
be something.
promise you that I will do it in front of you. I'm very shy.
Are you?
But you know how I swim when I am with people. Then I have a sweatsuit up to here all the way, and hat and gloves, and then I wonder why they look at me.
Do you drink?
No.
No?
I drink once in a great while a glass of wine. Or I don't drink because I find it very difficult to get my brain working properly. And if I do drink, and you know what I don't understand? People being on dope. How do they make their lives? And I work against it. I never even smoked. I'm awfully square in certain things.
You didn't smoke?
No, I've always worked for the Cancer Society. Besides that, you know how I made them stop smoking? Not saying that you're going to die because women don't care, but if you get wrinkles here, that goes from smoking.
Oh, is that right?
And then they stop.
Oh, you get wrinkles here?
Like that. Men don't get it so much as women. And then they stopped smoking. I'm so happy for free America, no smoking on the planes and in restaurants.
Yeah.
Second-hand smoking is even worse for you, you know.
Oh, it can't be worse.
Yes, you do
It's
die.
second-hand.
Yes, absolutely.
Because you don't know you're getting it is why it's worse. Is that the point?
But that's always the case.
No, you don't know you're getting it. But you can, I don't know. I mean,
But they studied that, darling, for the cigarettes.
Yes.
And second-hand smoking is worse.
Do you believe people have a right to smoke?
People have a right to do anything. It's their own life, and if they want to destroy it, it's their problem. But I came up with the slogan for a Cancer Society: life is short enough, why make it shorter? I find that one life is really too short for me. I'm planning to come back. And beside that,
As what?
Oh, I hope as a Broadway actress.
Really?
Yes, I love art.
Do you believe in reincarnation? Or do you just planning to do it yourself?
I am just planning to do it. I'm taking no chances. I'm planning to do it. I'm not like Shirley, Shirley MacLaine. I read her book. Did you read her book?
No, I have no. I read one of her books, but I mean, I like Shirley, and I think she's wonderful. But it's a little far out there.
It's what you see. I think that if you find something you believe in and it makes you happy and you don't hurt anybody, why not? I had a challenger. I went to a party and this challenger started to talk in another language, and I couldn't go for it, unfortunately. But I think it would be great. But I am definitely coming back. And I hope you do
Have you
too.
had such a good time in this life that you definitely want another one? Is that the deal?
Well, the thing is that life, there is a learning process, and it takes so long till you grow up and you really learn that half of your life is gone. And I like to have my brains of today and be 18 again. Just think where I
Boy,
would be.
that'd be
boy,
something.
I would be born with perfect English. I could play any part, and boy, would I be bright. But it takes a long time.
Were you tough on the men in your life?
I was a pussycat. That was my problem.
You were too nice.
I am too nice, and that's a bloody bore.
So you want to come back and punish them this time?
No, I never want to punish man. I'm crazy about man. You're talking to the wrong guy. I want to punish them. I will know how to handle them. It's a big difference.
Are men easy to figure out? I had a woman, Helen Gurley Brown once told me men are
she's
relatively
wonderful.
yeah, she's a good friend. And she told me once that men are relatively simple
Because
people.
she's a very bright woman.
Yes.
Men are very complicated, and women are double complicated.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, to try to figure out a woman must be
don't even
impossible.
try. It's out of the question.
But that's why our relationships today are so difficult, because everybody's groping and looking, and it is, as I say, we should be, the Lord only made one mistake. We should have been born old and bright and then go backwards.
Wouldn't that have been That would be a great way to live. That would.
Well, when I talk to him next, I talk to him every night.
Well, you talk to him every night and tell him that we're both in favor of that.
Yeah.
I got to ask another question. We've got 2 minutes to go, and I want to get you on the record here. Bob Dole recently came out and attacked some of the companies because they're putting out records that are detrimental to kids or movies that are bad and so on. Do you agree with that position, or do you not agree with it?
I do agree with it full-heartedly.
What about people who say that's censorship, if you get into that?
But if it is, so much the better, because our children grow up with all the ugliness what is what we have today. All they have to do is read the newspapers, listen to the news. That's enough already. And what goes on in the world. Why do television and movies about killing and murdering? I think it's horrible. I am so much, and I like him very much. I think he's a fine gentleman, Mr. Doyle, and I'm very much in agreement.
Really?
Wait till I get some hate mail. I send them to
Yeah,
you.
well, the Hollywood community won't be thrilled with this position.
They never thrilled with me anyway.
They never?
No. I have definite point of views, whom I like, whom I don't like, and I'm a Republican, and that's that.
Well, I admire that position. I mean, I think that the fact that you're willing to speak out, most people, the last woman to do that was Mary Pickford, I think, that ever admitted that she was a Republican. I'm pretty sure that no women ever admit that in Hollywood.
I'm not a hypocrite. Why should I lie? That's why I'm in this free, beautiful country. I like to live with my privileges.
Ava, thanks for coming.
Lovely.
Please come back. You're just a delight, and you look gorgeous.
And you can have me any day.
Hey, I'm going to leave it right at that. I'm not going to say anything else. You stay with us, and we'll be